Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is Wednesday, the 1st of October, 2025. And I am blessed and grateful this morning because I received the gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call. And I got to see another day here in beautiful, sunny Tampa, Florida. And you're seeing and hearing this, so you're equally blessed today because you received the gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call, and you got to see another day. Receiving the gift of tomorrow certainly is a blessing because it's not guaranteed to anybody, so we need to make the most of it every time we receive that precious gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call. The time right now is 4:03 a.m. and the sun is going to rise today in Tampa at 7:23. So we've got 3 hours and 20 minutes until the sun comes up here in beautiful, sunny Tampa, Florida. And the sun's going to set tonight in Tampa at 7:15 p.m. I'm setting up here in the back parking area of my McDonald's. And I had started off over at the Circle K at one of the pumps, but the two workers came out and they were arguing about who was going to finish the morning chores, before their shift is over. And they were getting quite loud, so I decided to come over to the McDonald's next door and park. It's much quieter back here, and there's not any cars. There's just the white SUV back here and me are the only two cars parked back here at the moment. So this is a much better option for me to do the video. I of course got my free cup of ice in my Thornton's cup. It started to melt already a good bit. And this morning, I decided to go with this Monster Rehab peach tea. I think I've got one can left of that in the camper, and one wild berry, I believe. I'll have to double check that. I tried the last night, like I said I was gonna consider doing. I tried the Peach Vibe Celsius. I liked it well enough, but I'm not going to buy another can. I don't like carbonated water in my drinks. It's too fizzy, gives me too much of an aftertaste, and the peach flavor is fine. If this was a blind taste test, I could definitely tell you that it was a peach drink, and I rate it an 8 out of 10. It's a good drink. I just don't care for it, and the purpose of this, drinking this, is to lose weight. It says right on here, it says Peach Vibe Sparkling White Peach Edition. Essential energy, accelerates metabolism, and burns body fat. I don't need to do that. My means of losing weight and maintaining my weight is fasting. So, the active ingredient, I looked into it to find out what it does, what it uses, what it puts in this can to help you lose weight, and it's the ECG. What is it? Where is it at on here? Yeah, it's got it includes green tea with EGCG, and I looked up what that is. EGCG protects cells from damage from free radicals. It helps lower cholesterol. Research suggests it helps reduce risk of some cancers. It promotes brain health, and here's where it helps with weight loss. It increases metabolism by aiding in weight loss. So there's nothing bad about drinking this. There's no added sugar. It's 10 calories per can. But it's got zero juice. So there's far worse drinks to drink than this Celsius can. It's just not for me. I know what it's about now. I still have one can left, a different flavor, but I'm going to finish that off. But after that, I'm not going to buy any more of this Celsius drink. I'm going to stick with my Monster Rehab peach tea, lemon tea and lemonade, wild berry, and green tea is what the drinks I'm going to stick with now that I know what Celsius is all about. I brought my scale in to the camper like I had planned last night when I got back from my deliveries, and I did a weigh-in this morning for Wednesday, October 1st. I weighed in at 161.8, which is more or less where I expected to be. I got, just from judging from the weigh-ins at the plasma center when I was going there, it's been since Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago now, so 10 or 11 days since I weighed in. And at my heaviest, based on what I gathered from those weigh-ins, I was up just over 170. So I'm now about 8 pounds less than my heaviest in the last several weeks, from getting off track with going to the family reunion and just not following my fasting protocol. But I'm back on track as of the first of the month. I'm back on track with my fasting, and I'm going to start walking more this month, and I'm going to do weigh-ins every morning. So I'm going to get back on track with my weight loss goals, my weight management goals for this month in October, as my hopes and plans. As far as my fasting is concerned, I laid out my plans for my weigh-ins. My fasting is going to look like this in October. I'm going to do rolling 48s and 72-hour fast the whole month of October. And what that's going to look like, it's going to be dirty fasting. It's not going to be water. I'm going to still have my coffee in the morning on non-fasting days. So Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm going to still have my coffee those mornings, and then fast the rest of the day. And then on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are going to be my eating days. So those are going to be days that I go to that halal food truck and enjoy my chicken over rice. And then between those times, after I feast in the evening, I'm going to fast Monday evening through Wednesday evening. So that'll be my first 48-hour fast. And then Wednesday, I'll eat again at the food truck in the evening. And then I'll fast again until Friday, I eat again. And then over the weekend, after I've broken my fast on Friday, I'll fast all night Friday through Saturday through Sunday. And then going into Monday evening, I will have broken that 72-hour fast when I eat again Monday evening. So I'm going to do, each week I'm going to do 2 48-hour fast and a 72-hour fast the whole month of October is my plan. And as far as my exercise, I'm going to do my best to get extra steps in every day. During my deliveries, I'm going to park farther away from the restaurant and a little bit farther away from the customer's house than I ordinarily do. I'm going to get extra steps in there. And I'm going to try to track extra steps intentionally with my walk app. Even if it's just a mile, that's a mile more than I would have gotten if I'm not, intentionally walking. So that's my plan as far as exercise goes. I checked gas prices while I was next door at the Circle K here, and they are now at $3.08. So that was down a penny from yesterday. It was $3.09 at the Circle K here. Yesterday, AAA was reporting that the national average of gas was $3.13, but this morning it's reporting the national average of gas is $3.15, so it's went up. The national average of gas has went up 2 cents. And compared to this Circle K is beating the national average by 7 cents. The Circle K is better than the national average by 7 cents. So can't be upset about the gas price at this Circle K next door. I'm going to most definitely top off before I leave this area this morning. And I also checked in with Gas Buddy, and Gas Buddy is saying that the Florida state average this morning is $3.11. Yesterday, it was reporting the Florida state average was $3.05. So The Florida state averages went up a good bit in just a day. That's 6 cents increase. But of course, this Circle K is beating the state average this morning by 3 cents. It's 3 cents cheaper. 3.08 is what the gas price is here to Circle K, and it's 3.11. So that's a difference, cheaper by 3 cents. I also checked with Google Weather for the high temperature today, and I checked in with the weather YouTube I've been following. It's called 10 Tampa Bay, I believe. Bobby Deskins was reporting the weather this morning on 10 Tampa Bay, and he says that we can expect no rain in Tampa, Florida this morning or the rest of the day, and he's saying that we're going to see a high temperature of 89 degrees. Google Weather is saying also that there's not going to be any rain in the Tampa Bay area today, over the course of today, Wednesday, but we can expect a high temperature of 90 degrees. They were reporting, Google and 10 Tampa Bay was reporting no rain yesterday, and that was good. That was a good forecast. I drove a good bit all over the Tampa Bay area, and I didn't see any sign of any rain. The pavement wasn't wet anywhere I went yesterday, and I didn't have to turn on my windshield wipers over the course of the day yesterday. So overall, a good forecast from what I could tell. Google Weather and 10 Tampa Bay put out a good weather forecast for Tampa Bay yesterday. I bought this Mega Million ticket yesterday at 9:30. When I got back to town on 9:30 yesterday, I bought this ticket at 6:12 p.m. as I was coming back, getting done with my deliveries for the day. I bought it actually at this Circle K next door. And I played my normal numbers of 14, 22, 25, 37, 49, and a Powerball of 23. So this jackpot tonight for Wednesday is supposed to be at 174 million. So I'll know, hopefully I'll hit at least a couple numbers and I'll win a few dollars back. I wouldn't mind hitting the jackpot, of course. And then I also bought a scratch-off ticket at this Circle K next door last night. This scratch-off ticket is the Florida Lottery $500 a week for life, and it's number 113 from the book. So we're going to see if 113 is a good number. Get my lucky wheat penny here. The winning number I need to try to match is 17 this time around. And my first number is 19. So we're not starting off good. I'm not going to win $2. The next number I have on here is 8. So I'm not going to win $10. Next number I'm revealing is 5. So it's not looking good. I'm not going to win the grand prize of $500 a week for life. My next number on here is 14. So I'm not going to win 11. And I've got one more chance to win something on this ticket. And it's 11. So this is another dud. I'm not going to win 20. So another losing number here. Another losing ticket. 113 was not a good ticket to pick from the book, apparently. I also checked on what any active weather systems in the Atlantic right now. I checked that through that YouTube, 10 Tampa Bay, and according to Google, both of those. The only two active systems in the Atlantic are Humberto and Imelda, and so we've got nothing on the horizon as far as tropical storms brewing and working their way eastward. So I'm going to keep an eye on that so I can prepare myself for any potential hurricanes coming towards Florida and the United States. Keeping my eye out for that. I had mentioned, I think in the previous video or the video before that, maybe 2 videos ago, that I got the idea of building your fasting muscle, and how fasting gets easier over time if you keep at it and it gets easier and easier, and then you can build in more stringent protocols to make your fasting muscle even stronger, and make these 48-hour fast and 72-hour fast that you might want to do, or even longer fast. Those even get easier over time the more you do them, because you're building up your fasting muscle. And I explained that I got that idea from Jen, and I couldn't think of her last name. I went into my trunk and I got this book out, and her name is Jen Stevens, and the book I read is this Fast, Feast, Repeat by Jen Stevens. And I didn't get that idea from her book. I went through all her chapters. I skimmed her book yesterday while I was out and doing deliveries, in between deliveries. And that concept I know is from her, but it's not from this book. I must have gotten it from one of her interviews that someone did with her. She's conducted several interviews with other people of like mind that follow fasting and are interested in nutrition and diet and exercise. The closest thing I could find from this book, where she talks about, in general terms, building a fasting muscle, she doesn't use those words in this book, but the closest thing I could find to that concept was from her chapter 11. I think it's chapter 11, Tweak. Yeah, chapter 11 is Tweak It Till It's Easy, from this book. And she says, I'll read a chapter on here, that kind of, if you didn't know this was a fasting book or a diet book of that type of nature, you would think that she might be talking about exercise and weightlifting. When you hear this, it says, how do you feel physically? We have learned that it can take time for the body to adapt to a new routine. So expect some sort of adjustment phase when you make a change in your fasting schedule. After giving your body time to adjust, see how you feel. It always is a good sign to find that you have great energy and mental clarity during a fast. If you start to feel worse and worse physically after a few weeks, that is a sign that you need to make a different tweak it till it's easy. So that kind of is the same sentiment of, building a fasting muscle. It'll possibly get easier over time the more you do it, is kind of what I gathered from that chapter and her overall message from this book. I didn't end up posting anything to Reddit or making any comments on my Uber Eats driver subreddit, so these numbers are all the same from the video yesterday. I'm still at karma of 940. Comments are 320 still, and my posts are still at 54. So I most likely will be doing another post today, and certainly commenting. It's rare for me to not comment, but I never got around to it yesterday. For whatever reason, I never commented on anybody's post on Uber Eats driver subreddit for some reason. Who knows? And the same goes for my metrics as being a local guide 7 on Google. I'm still a local guide 7. I still have 74.26 more points to go until I'm a local guide 8. I have 74 points. My contributions are the same from yesterday. I did no Google reviews yesterday either, so I wasn't active I didn't do any Reddit or Google reviews yesterday. Didn't comment on Reddit or do any Google reviews, which is very unusual for me. I'm still at 1422 contributions. My reviews are still at 218, but my picture views went up a good bit yesterday. I was at yesterday morning, I had 2,336,614 views of all my pictures. Now I'm at 2,344,751. So I had 8,100 more views yesterday, over the course of the day yesterday on Google. Now, as far as my Uber Eats metrics, a lot of changes there happened from one day to the next. Yesterday, I had 1% canceled orders out of 100. I'm still at 1%. But my on-time metric has improved. I was at 91% orders on time, delivered on time, and arrivals at restaurants. Now I'm at 92% arrival percentage. So I've improved there. My acceptance has went up from 42%. Now, yesterday, I accepted an average of 43% of the orders that the Uber Eats offered me over the course of the day yesterday. And this is something that hasn't changed in a great while. I've been at 97% satisfaction for a long time. That increased 1% yesterday. I improved to 98%. I'm making 98% of my customers happy. So that's a great change from yet one day to the next. And again, for the third or fourth day in a row, all 5 metrics improved on my Uber Eats app. My Deliver with Care, I was at 336 comments that reflect my Deliver with Care had improved. I was at 336, now I'm at 338. My friendly comments I got 2 more friendly comments yesterday. I was at 292, now I'm at 294. My quick and efficient score went up from 290 to 291. Perfect handoff went up to 274. That's an increase of 2 more comments. I was at 272. And I had one person say I was a good communicator. I went up from 259 to 260 yesterday. Yesterday I did 18 deliveries on Uber Eats. My handwriting's a little bit messy here, but I'm gonna do my best to make it out. My first delivery was to a customer name of George, and George ordered Einstein Brothers Bagels on Fowler. George's fare was $2, and George tipped me $5, so I earned $7 on that delivery. And then my second delivery was from Hole in One Donuts on North Florida Avenue for Jeff. Jeff tipped me $4 with a fare of $5.07, so I made $9.07 on that delivery to Jeff. And then my third trip of the day was from Chick-fil-A on Fowler for James. James' fare was $6.39, and he decided to tip me $4.66. So I made $11.05 on that delivery. And then my fourth delivery of the day was to Emily. And Emily ordered food from 301 Family Restaurant on Highway 301. Emily's fare was $2, and she tipped me $5.09. So altogether, I made $7.09 on Emily's delivery. And then I had 4 Starbucks in a row, back to back. The number 5 delivery was from the Starbucks on North Martin Luther King James Boulevard. All of them were from the same Starbucks. This one was to Carolyn. Carolyn's fare was $2 and a tip of $5.13, so I made $7.13 for Carolyn's delivery. Then the next one was to Jamie. Jamie's fare was also $2. Jamie tipped me $5, so I made $7 altogether on that trip. And then the third time I went to Starbucks was my 7th delivery of the day to Brianna. Brianna's fare was also $2, but Brianna tipped me $4.70, so I made $6.70 on that trip. And then the last Starbucks I did in that series, it was the last Starbucks of the day, was my 8th trip to Beverly. Beverly's fare was $2, and she tipped me the least of the 4 Starbucks deliveries with $4, and I made $6 on that run. And then after that, I went back to the 301 Family Restaurant. That was my 9th trip of the day. That's located, of course, on Highway 301, and that delivery was to John and Stuart. That was actually a double. I picked up 2 orders at that family restaurant, 301 Family Restaurant. John and Stuart ordered food there, and altogether I made $13.59 on that double. It was a fare of $3.50 and a tip of $10.09. And then after that double, I went on to pick up food at Protein House on North Meridian. That was the 10th trip of the day for Daniel. Daniel's fare was $2. I got a toll reimbursement of $1.13, and Daniel tipped me $5.33, so I made $8.46 altogether on that trip. And then my 11th trip of the day was from Arby's on Hillsborough Avenue for Lloyd. Lloyd's fare was $5.86, and Lloyd tipped me $5.48, so I made $11.34 altogether on that trip. And then my 12th trip of the day was from Baraka Pizza on East Sly Avenue for Norman. Norman, his fare was $2, and Norman tipped me $4, so I made $6 altogether. And then my 13th trip of the day was from Wingstop down there on Apollo Beach for Jason. Jason tipped me $3.01 on a fare of $2, so I made $5.01 on that trip. A lot of smaller deliveries on average in terms of dollar amounts, but I'm very happy with my results. I did more deliveries, so I still made out quite well on all my deliveries, tips and fares and all that. Can't complain. My 14th trip of the day was from Tropical Smoothie on Big Bend for Sandy. Sandy tipped me $6.49 on a fare of $2, but then after I was done with the delivery, she raised my tip. She gave me an additional $2.76, so looks like I made $11.25 if I'm reading my writing correctly here. And then my 15th trip of the day was from Chin Kitchen on Waterset for Devon. Devon tipped me $3 with a fare of $2, so I made $5 on that trip. And then my 16th trip of the day was from Culver's also on Big Bend. I was at the Tropical Smoothie earlier, 2 deliveries before that. And that delivery went to Asia. Asia tipped me $5.14. My handwriting's really bad, so I'm having a hard time making it out. But it looks like altogether I made $5.13 on that delivery to Culver's. I'm just going to cut that short. I can't make out the rest of it, but I can make out how much I made altogether. And then my 17th trip of the day was from PDQ Chicken also on Big Bend for Keisha. Keisha tipped me $2 with a fare of $3, so I made $5 on that run. And then my very last delivery of the day was to Token Ramen on Stelling Drive. I got a fare of $7.01, a toll reimbursement of $1.98, and a tip of $2, so I made $10.99 altogether on that run, and that rounded out my day. And also, that was the second day in a row I was down on Apollo Beach, so I got to see the beach again yesterday. Didn't make out as well in terms of dollar amounts, individual deliveries like I did the day before, going down to Apollo Beach, but I'm not upset about it. I made out very well with the Uber Eats app in terms of dollar amount yesterday. Very happy with my results. Well, as far as my plans today, I'm going to fast all day today until around 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. And then I'm going to break my fast at the halal food truck that I found down here in Tampa that I really love. They've got great food there. I'm going to stick primarily with their chicken over rice dish. That's as far as protein, chicken is my favorite protein to eat. And I'm very fortunate and blessed that I found a food truck that I love here in Tampa, Florida. So I'm going to stick with it. And then I'm going to fast. I'm going to start my fast back again after 7. And then I'm going to fast all day tomorrow, Thursday, until I break my fast Friday night. And that'll be a 48-hour fast. And I'm going to weigh in the morning again. and hopefully I will have lost a little bit from my weigh in this morning. I was at 161.8 this morning when I weighed in. Well, I'm gonna get off here and go in and enjoy some my coffee. Now I'm gonna have breakfast. My breakfast is gonna be coffee this morning at the McDonald's. I want to wish you all the best and hope you've had a great week so far, like I have. I've had a fantastic week here in Tampa, Florida. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.